one of the worst auditions I can remember is, and I'm the guy behind the camera. I'm putting this guy on camera, and the opening scene is he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like that was his line. "Hey, what?" And he did. I guess in his mind, he thought he would be cool if he popped up in the camera and said it. So we roll action, and he just like lays flat down on the ground, and I lose him. I lose the shot. I'm like, oh, whoa, and I have to pan the camera down to get him, and then he pamps back up. "Hey, what are you doing?" And the shot's all wonky and weird, and I'm like, oh man, what do I do? So the director stops it. Stop. You don't have to jump. Just stay there and just say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he goes, I got you, all right. And then action, bops down on the ground again, does it again, like he didn't even take the note. And I was like, what is this guy doing? And he's like, and then he starts doing like a stand-up routine, and I'm like, this is not part of the scene. And we just want to get the guy in and out. Directors real cool. Let's just do like, look, you don't need to drop out of camera, just stand there and just say the line. And he goes, all right, man, I got you. And then action, does it again. And
you thought 3 was a charm.
So he does everything like you would never want to do as an actor. And he leaves, and the director turns to the producers like, what was that?
I have the pleasure of sitting here with Thomas Sullivan, who's an incredible casting director, and he's cast some of my favorite films, one of them being The Green Book, which won an Academy Award. Incredible performances. I know that you work with the Farley brothers a lot with your partner Rick Montgomery. Zubiquity, which was incredible. And it's just such a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you.
Could you give some advice on how to get a callback?
I mean, I can just tell you what works in my room.
Okay.
I don't know about other casting directors, but in my room, I think first of all, there's so many other factors besides the audition, but considering all that out, height, color, pairing, all that, coming in the room, prepared, doing your audition, and then leaving, like not really caring. You care, but you don't really care. So, you don't come in and you don't really chit-chat that much, unless the director or the casting person is asking you questions, trying to get you comfortable. But usually just go in there, do the audition, and then just, get out like you have another appointment that you need to get to. It just comes off. It reads off like, okay, confident, they know what they're doing. It's a job, It's, I know actors get in their head. It's like, it's art, it's my passion, it's this, it's that. But at the end of the day, it's a job. So you got to go in, do the job, and then you leave.
I like that. I think that's really valid because this, especially in the first call, that's not a time to schmooze.
No,
you're trying to meet your day, and
yeah.
It's on tape, so you'll be looking at it later.
Yeah, let them ask you questions. Let the casting, let the producers, let the director, let them ask you. Obviously, if it's a first call, the director and producers aren't going to be there. Just will be the casting director and probably a reader. But if they ask you questions, sure, answer. Talk as much as you want. Let them initiate, though. You don't be the initiator.
So putting a really good self-tape together, what would you recommend on that?
Oh, make sure it's, first of all, the file's not like half a gig. And make sure your shot's good. Don't have like a close-up shot here or a wide-out shot here. Make it like a good standard shot. It should be clean. It should be concise. But you want to have some sort of a decent reader. They're not trying to overact you. They're just giving you what you need to get the scene moving forward.
Right.
If
you really like them, will you test them and have them do it a couple of different ways?
Well, yes and no. It just depends. On the situation. If I feel like they're right for the role and they make a choice that isn't right, then I will give them a redirect to see if they can get the right choice going. If they come in and knock it out of the park, I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to for me, this is talking for me. I don't know about other casting directors, but I'm not going to give them another note to say, oh, I'm going to give them something completely different and see if they could take it. For me, that's the director's job.
Do you save those pictures, people who are really good, or do you try and remember them in any way?
I try to remember them for sure, but it's kind of hard because every project you get, there's always different roles. So a person that's right for this role, the chances that the next project I'm going to do that they're going to be perfect for the next role, it's a pretty slim chance for me. But I do remember like, oh man, they killed it. I won't know what they killed it on. I probably won't remember like what their audition was unless I look it up. Mm-hmm. I'll just call them in and see what they do again. I usually call in a fair amount of people.
So if I could switch gears for a little bit, could you tell us a little bit about one of the better auditions you've ever seen, and then also possibly one that someone really made major mistakes?
Somebody did a backflip and kicked a hole in a wall on a scene. That was bad. That we had to pay for that. Like the studio, you had to pay to patch the hole in the wall. That was terrible. Good auditions. I think one of the good ones was we were doing a period piece, and usually when you come in a costume, like it was set in the 1800s, if you come in like in a full get-up costume, it's like, oh no, it's not going to be that good.
It feels like it's Halloween.
Overcompensating, like, for costuming. I guess this is a good note of wardrobe. It's like, do the minimum. Like if it's set in a certain time, just do something that's simplistic. You don't need to go all out and like really like you're going to be camera ready. It's just like very simplistic. Don't let the outfit outshine your acting, but the person came in and she crushed it. I was like, oh my, this girl's amazing. But the wardrobe was so like out. I mean, it was perfect if she was on set filming, for the audition. It's like, well, it didn't really, but it worked though. I mean, she'd end up getting the job. That was like, I was shocked because, I thought it was going one way and it went another.
If you tell yourself that you're in this for 50 years,
yeah.
How many auditions are you going to do in those 50 years? And that it's a great opportunity to work on a character.
Yeah.
And to like give it 150% and see what you can learn. And then if for whatever reason you don't nail it, you can bring it into your acting class and say, I want to keep working on this because this is a character I never have tried before.
Absolutely.
And I want to see if I can nail it and make it all part of growing.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. Like it's working on if they, if they're going for specific characters, absolutely. Like Jim Carrey, we were talking about Jim Carrey earlier off camera. You would look in the mirror and do different faces and characters hours every day. Just getting characters developed. So it's repetition. It's training. It's constant. It's a constant muscle you have to keep working. For sure.
And that's a way of protecting your joy of why you like doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I pictured, as soon as you said that, I pictured Jim Carrey making all these faces, and it like made me laugh and made me feel happy. So he was keeping his playfulness alive.
Sure.
And that's what everybody has to think about.
I think too, actors should figure out too what they're really, really good at as far as like characters. So if they're really good, like, because you don't want to be an actor that's like, I'm tens on all fronts, because no actor is. So you want to pick a genre or somebody, characters that you really connect with, and go for those characters full blown. Other characters, sure, audition for them, but these are your niche characters that you have a greater shot at booking than other characters.
And I would think the only way you can learn and do that is by being in an acting class where you can experiment with that, and then you start getting feedback from other people in the class and or
how they see you.
Yeah, and they say, "Oh my gosh, you just nailed that."
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, "Wow, I'm really good at bad guys," or
right.
"I'm really
or good guys," or psycho guys, or doctors, or lawyers, or whatever role that there's a lot of, that's the one you want to focus on.
Thank you so much for sitting with us today, Thomas, and giving your Sunday up. I really appreciate it. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe.